Meanwhile, the way we produce, process and consume food has to change if the world is to survive. That's the message from the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. 1 in 3 people in the world are malnourished, either because they don't eat enough food or they eat too much. To find some answers to how food can feed the world better, the first ever United Nations Food Systems Summit is taking place this week. Here's US President Joe Biden speaking a little earlier.
And at a time when nearly 1 in 3 people globally do not have access to adequate food just last year, the United States is committing to rallying our partners to address immediate malnutrition and to ensure that we can sustainably feed the world for the decades to come. To that end, the United States is making a $10 billion commitment to end hunger and invest in food systems at home and abroad.
Well, one expert taking part in that summit is Dr. Lawrence Haddad, Executive Director of the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. He's also the recipient of the 2018 World Food Prize. Great to have you on the program, Lawrence. In the first instance, just outline for us how big a problem is malnutrition.
Thanks, Karishma. Great to be here. Malnutrition is a massive problem. It's 1 in 3 people are malnourished. When you put all the different forms together, everybody in the world knows somebody that's malnourished, and it has serious consequences for their development, their health. It's responsible for half of all child deaths under the age of 3. It's a massive, massive problem.
Lawrence, why are we in this situation when, surely there's enough food in the developed world to solve so many of these problems?
Well, the problem is that where food needs to be grown, it's not grown well enough. It's either grown in a way that it wrecks the environment, or it's grown that it doesn't generate enough income, or it's grown that the food that is grown doesn't have enough nutrients in it, so it doesn't nourish people properly. So it's about the choices we all make about what to grow, what to process, and what to eat.
And Lawrence, what's specifically new about this summit? I know there have been global efforts before to address this issue. What is the new thing that this summit is hoping to achieve?
The new thing about this summit is that it brings all these different groups together. The groups that care about hunger, malnutrition, climate change, biodiversity, jobs, and resilience to things like COVID-19. And it says to all of those groups, you have to talk together. You have to come up with solutions that end malnutrition while reducing greenhouse gas emissions, while stopping biodiversity loss, while generating jobs. So that's a tall order, but we've been doing it. We've gotten ideas from all over the world. We've had thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people involved in the summit, and we've got some great priorities, great ideas and solutions, and hopefully on Thursday we'll get some great commitments.
Lawrence, not to sound like a cynic, but there have been efforts to talk before. There have been organizations that bring people from all over the world together before, and yet we're still in this situation today. What can be done to solve this problem?
Well, I think we've got a really interesting and good opportunity to change things. COVID-19 is a massive wake-up call for everybody who thinks and works and acts on food. It has wrecked our food system and it's shown us where all the weaknesses are, and it's given us a really good idea of how to build forward better. It's raised the number of kids that are malnourished. The hunger numbers are going through the roof, 20% higher this year than they were last year. And that is a massive wake-up call. You saw that with President Biden's $10 billion announced today. That's great. It's not enough. We need Europe, China, G7, G20 to do exactly the same.
Dr. Lawrence Haddad, Executive Director of the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, thank you for joining us on Newsday with that very important topic.
My pleasure.